Welcome back. Challenging election issues during a hearing in the Georgia State Senate yesterday. Witnesses alleged issues with voting machines and ballot counting irregularities. Take a look at this video where you see people taking boxes out from under a table. Those boxes apparently contain ballots, and they are brought over to the ballot machine. This is after the workers there asked everyone in the room to leave. Governor Brian Kemp told Fox News' Laura Ingraham last night that with this new evidence, he would like to see another audit.
I called early on for a signature audit. Obviously, the Secretary of State, per the laws and the Constitution, would have to order that. He has not done that. I think it should be done. I think, especially with what we saw today, it raises more questions. There needs to be transparency on that. I would again call for that, and I think in the next 24 hours, hopefully we'll see a lot more from the hearings that the legislature had today, and we'll be able to look and see what the next steps are.
So let's see, where are we on this? Joining me right now is the attorney for President Trump, Jenna Ellis, who was in Georgia yesterday. Jenna, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for joining us this morning. Tell us what that video is. Explain what we were looking at in that video, Jenna, first, in Georgia.
Well, Mayor Giuliani rightly described it as the smoking gun in this case. And so everyone has been saying, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? And obviously, we've brought forward so many witnesses who have seen the fraud that's been going on. They've witnessed how election officials have completely disregarded the laws in 6 states. But this video corroborates what witnesses in Georgia said happened at the State Farm Arena. What you saw in that video that for the first time in front of the Georgia Senate was played yesterday is that election officials took everyone out of the room at about 10:30 at night and said, go home, we're done counting. Then they pulled out at least 4 big boxes of ballots and kept scanning and scanning ballots until late into the night. And so this just corroborates what the witnesses have already said, and it shows that President Trump and our legal team have been absolutely correct to bring these challenges. We've been asking for signature matching. We've been asking to make sure that it is a valid recount, that every legal vote is counted. And we know now with this video, along with all of the witness testimony, that the elections in these 6 states, and particularly now in Georgia, are irredeemably compromised. And there's no way these certifications are genuine and accurate results.
So how many votes are we talking about? What do you think the impact of these boxes of ballots mean on the overall number of ballots in question?
Well, the margin in Georgia is very, very slim. I mean, and that's why initially when we were asking for the recount and to make sure for signature matching, to make sure that this was a correct count, when you have thousands and thousands of ballots that add up to, possibly 80,000 ballots or more, then this really calls into question not just the validity of the outcome, but also understanding what is the legal vote count versus all of the illegal ballots. It's going to be very difficult now to actually go back through with all of the mail-in ballots because we don't have the security envelopes with those ballots together and being able to put those back together. So it's going to be very difficult to get to an actual vote count in Georgia.
So what is your end result then, Jenna? Assess where you are. We've been talking about these irregularities now for a couple of weeks since Election Day. You're going to need a win here, a victory in one of these swing states in order to prove to the American people that, in fact, you have the wherewithal to keep moving forward and a path to victory. Walk us through all of these cases and the challenges to the swing states and tell us where you expect a victory.
Yeah, well, I think that as we argued yesterday in front of the Georgia Senate, and also what we're asking in other litigation cases, is that the election results should not continue to be certified. They're illegitimate. It's irredeemably compromised. And so what we're asking for, as our local counsel said in Georgia yesterday, that the state legislature take back their authority and that they appoint new electors. And they appoint that not based on this false certification, but rather based on a true and accurate result. And so they could call for a special election, or, as the Constitution allows, they could appoint electors based on the representation of their state. That was actually how the Electoral College was appointed until 1824 in our country. And so this is something where we have to make sure that corruption does not reign supreme in America. We have to make sure that election integrity is preserved, and we can call for either a special election or for the state legislatures to take over. But what's really important as well, Maria, is that this video was only obtained the night before the Georgia hearing. So this is all still coming out. We have witness affidavits. Everybody's been saying, well, these are just witnesses. This is their testimony. Why should we believe them credible? This video shows proof that the witnesses in Georgia were correct. And so I think that that should raise suspicion all across these 6 states that, of course, these witnesses are testifying to the truth. The elections are irredeemably compromised, and we can't move forward with these false results. The state legislatures need to act.
I want to ask you about Pennsylvania, but I know you're coming back in the show in the 8 a.m. hour. We'll talk about the Supreme Court there in terms of Pennsylvania. But give me your timing on this. When are you going to hear from the courts? What are the next steps? How long do you give this to get a reaction to that video? What's your timing here in Georgia?
Yeah, so hopefully the state legislature is actually going to be the one, rather than the court, to step in and intervene. What they can do is run a concurrent resolution through both their House and their Senate to say that they've made these factual findings, that the results, currently that certification is not appropriate and it's false, and that they're taking back their authority. So as soon as they do that, the judicial branch doesn't even need to step in Georgia at that point. The state legislature can then intervene, and then they can provide the remedy. And that's what we're asking for, not only in Georgia, but also where Mayor Giuliani and I were in Pennsylvania last week, and in Michigan and Arizona earlier this week, with all of the witnesses and evidence we've presented.
And you think you'll hear from the state legislatures when? In the next couple of days, or what's your timing on that?
Definitely before December 14th. That's the date that the Electoral College under statute is going to vote. And so we need to definitely do that before December 14th. And we're hearing from state legislatures, and especially in Georgia yesterday, those state senators were very, very disturbed by what they saw, and rightly so. And also, Maria, this type of evidence, the overwhelming evidence we have, is more than in most criminal cases for an indictment and even a conviction in a criminal trial. So we have enough evidence, and the state legislatures are going to act here.
We'll talk more about it when we see you in the 8 a.m. hour, Jenna. Thank you so much. Jenna Ellis will be back with us.